Hello there, my fellow Bitcoin plebs. Jonathan Levy here, and I hope you're really excited about today's video. I know I am. I've been waiting to record this for a long time. So here's the setup and here's the situation. You've seen all the buzz about how easy it is today to set up your very own Bitcoin Lightning node. You might have seen some of the apps or posts by folks like Umbrel or Raspberry Blitz or MyNode. You've gone ahead and hopefully followed some of the other guides online and you have set up your very own node, and you are now wondering, now what? Well, stick around because in this video, I'm going to be showing you all the tools, tips, tricks, strategies, communities, and hacks that I wish I had known about when I got started running my very own Lightning node. So congratulations, you have your very own Lightning node, or if you don't already, you are in the process of syncing the initial Bitcoin blockchain download. Good for you, and thank you for supporting the network. But you might be wondering, what the heck can I actually do with this thing, and where do I even get started? Well, I was exactly where you are just 8 weeks ago. And in this video, I want to share with you all some of the tools, tips, tricks, strategies, communities, websites, and resources that I have found through many tireless hours of trial and error and searching around. I'm going to show you the exact tools that I use to take my node from a completely brand new green, fresh out of the box node to one of the top 100 nodes on Lightning Terminal. I'm going to show you what I use each tool for and some of the tools, tips, tricks, and strategies that I like to use in actually running those tools. Now, feel free to look in the description because I'm going to give you timestamps of all the different categories that I'm going to be talking about in this video, which I'm sure is going to be a pretty long one because, let's face it, it's really awesome to talk about Lightning Network, and also timestamps to the different tools that I'm using. I also encourage you to check out the links below in the description where I will link you to each and every one of these tools. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I want to first start off our tutorial with some of the Lightning tools that you can install on your node. Now, whether you are using Umbrel, MyNode, or Raspberry Blitz, you should be able to easily enough install these tools right onto your LND client or your Lightning daemon client without too much technical knowledge. And the first one I'm going to start you off with is probably a little complicated and overwhelming, but it is the one that I find myself using the most, and that is ThunderHub. ThunderHub is a tool that allows you to access your Lightning client from anywhere in the world over Tor. We'll get into that a little bit more later, and allows you to do all sorts of different kinds of tools and tasks and all kinds of performance checks, etc., without actually having to use a command line or knowing how to code. And that's really huge because for the longest time, in order to actually do most of these actions, you had to directly interact in the command line. Now, I'm sure there are all sorts of ThunderHub tool tutorials all over the web, but in this video, I want to quickly touch on the tool really quickly so you can understand what it can do. First and foremost, ThunderHub is a graphical user interface allowing you to look at all the stats for your node, see all of your different peers, all of the channels that you have opened, open up different channels with different people. If you want to open channels, you can close channels, all with an easy graphical interface that is super fun to use. You can update the different fees on your channels and even check the different fees that other people are using. You can use their rebalance tool if you want to try and move around some of your funds and move some of your outbound liquidity to inbound liquidity on other channels. But I will note that I actually have not had a lot of success rebalancing using ThunderHub. Additionally, you can look at the different details, see all of the transactions that you've conducted in and out, as well as get a beautiful forwarding report of all the different forwarding that you've been doing, broken down into days, months, with all kinds of beautiful chord graphs, and even a breakdown of the fees that you are earning transaction by transaction. I love this. I have to admit, I'm super addicted to looking at this view and checking every few hours to see if I earn some Satoshis by forwarding different payments. You can also see different on-chain activities, as well as use some of their tools, such as signing and verifying messages, and a bunch of other advanced features that you're probably not going to use. You can also swap on-chain or off of chain if you want to get some of your liquidity out of channels and onto chain, so you can open up more channels, but that's a little bit more advanced for beginner users. One of the other things that I really love is looking at the stats and seeing which one of my channels is performing and which are not, looking at the different flow stats, the time stats, the fee stats, and all different kinds of things to see what is going on with my node and which channels are performing. I also love the new feature that they have released called Dashboard, where you can create your very own completely custom dashboard and see all the metrics that you want to see, whether it is channel balance, payments, routes, transactions, and on and on and on. And of course, for those of you who love that dark mode, you can turn on or off dark mode, switch to BTC view, SAT view, or fiat view. Oh, I love me some dark mode. The next tool I want to share as we go like a train through the night is RTL, or RideTheLightning. Now, RTL is not as pretty and it does not have as many features, but I find that for many different basic tasks, it actually works a lot better. For example, when I need to balance channels, I am so much more successful in doing it if I use RideTheLightning. To do that, all you have to do is go to your peers' channels and then hit Actions, Circular Rebalance. And what I love is it will allow you to specify the amount, receive from whichever peer you want, and it'll give you an estimate of the fee. Only one catch. The estimates are usually off by a factor of 3 to 5. So just triple or multiply by 5 and you'll get the actual fee that you need to rebalance your channels. Note that you can also open channels here just like you can in ThunderHub. And if you haven't already, make sure to open some channels because that is how you are going to start routing payments. And later on in the video, if you stick around, I'm going to teach you how to get inbound liquidity in addition to outbound liquidity. I like RideTheLightning because in some situations, it actually works a lot better than ThunderHub. I don't know if this is a bug on my node or just in general, but I have found that I'm not really able to successfully rebalance channels in ThunderHub, so I end up just doing it in RideTheLightning instead. There's also all kinds of services here, such as loop in and loop out, which again is a little too advanced for most beginners and is super expensive to do, so I don't recommend you play around with it until you have some experience. Now, on the topic of opening channels, you might be thinking to yourself, hey, I've heard that this can get expensive. Well, yes it can, but only if you don't use a tool like Mempool.space. Now, your node may actually allow you to run a localized version of Mempool.space, or you can just use the web version, though I like running it on my node because then when I check the transactions, I have the privacy of nobody knowing my actual IP address is connected to my node. Now, what's important about Mempool.space is it tells you the exact transaction fees that you should be paying at this exact moment. And why is that important, you ask, for a Lightning node operator? Well, because if you want to open channels, that requires an on-chain transaction, as does closing a channel. And you want to make sure that you do that when the fees are as low as possible. You can see at the time of this recording, you can open a channel for 1 Satoshi per VByte, which will probably be around 116 to 243 Satoshis for any size channel that you want to open. I don't know about you, but that is incredibly cheap. In fact, I have made significantly more than that on single payments routing on the Lightning Network. So though you might not get rich by creating channels and routing payments, you can definitely do better off by setting your channels up when the fees are as low as possible. Now, I actually have built a simple tool for Mempool.space if you are a Mac user, where you can actually have it right in the dashboard or taskbar of your Mac, giving you an alert updated every single minute so that you always know what the fees are. And if you want, they have a wonderful TV view that you can set up on an iPad or on your TV if you want, and actually see the Mempool statistics in real time, so you always know when to open those channels and when to just be patient. The next app that I want to share with you all is my favorite wallet for interacting with my node and with Lightning as a whole. Now, I know that you can set up a Blue Wallet, Lightning Wallet. I know that many of your nodes will allow you to import the on-chain wallet onto something like Blue Wallet or any other wallet. And yet, one of the best wallets that I've seen is actually Zeus. And the reason for that is it seamlessly integrates your on-chain and off-chain node wallet, allowing you to send and receive on-chain transactions and Lightning Network transactions. Now, I will note that it is a little bit slow because it is actually contacting your node, most likely over the Tor network, and then interacting with it there. But I find that this is so much cooler than using a custodial Lightning wallet, and it'll actually allow you to send Lightning transactions from your node. Super cool. You can even use it to open channels and do a fee report, though I use it for that a whole lot less because, let's face it, the fee report is so much more beautiful on ThunderHub. I like Zeus for many, many different reasons, but there are other options such as fully noded or Zap, though I think they actually offer less functionality. So for my 2 Satoshis, download Zeus and play around with that when you're on the go. The final app that I want to share with you all is exactly on that note while you are on the go, and it is Onion Browser. Now, I don't know what the status is for Android users or what the best Tor browser is for them, but if you are an iPhone or iPad user, the only way that you are going to be able to get into apps like ThunderHub or RideTheLightning on the go is by using the Onion Browser utility, which allows you to utilize the Tor network and go to your super secret Tor address for each one of those apps. I love using this browser because it allows me to keep in touch with my node, update my fees, check channel stats, and all the other stuff that my wife yells at me for doing obsessively while I am on the go. This is a great app, and I would love if some of you Android users would share in the comments what are the apps that you are using for accessing your node remotely. Also note that if you are on the desktop, I recommend just using Brave, which has a built-in version of the Tor browser. You can open a new private window with Brave, and off you go. All right, switching gears from the apps to the website. As you probably have already started noticing, there is a thriving community and ecosystem of websites popping up all over the internet to support the Lightning Network, to test out some of its features, to demonstrate potential use cases for Lightning, and to just get the community together and interacting. The first one you're probably going to find out about is 1ML, which is kind of like a block explorer, but for the Lightning Network. 1ML allows you to see all the different stats and the top nodes all over the world by capacity, by locations, by services offered, channel counts, and much, much more. I personally don't think that 1ML is the absolute best explorer for the Lightning Network, but one of the things that you will find useful about it is that it does allow people to put in information about themselves and about their nodes, which can be very interesting if you want to know their website, you want to potentially look at different stats or see who that person is, or at least who they claim to be. I generally don't use 1ML as much as I use the other different services out there that I'm about to share with you, but it is kind of the go-to place if you want to quickly learn something about different people on the network. You can also claim your own node and write yourself a nice little description about yourself and why people should open channels to you, as well as reviewing the different channels and fees that different potential peers might have. Now, I mentioned that 1ML is not my favorite explorer of choice, and this next one is definitely a whole lot better, though still not the one that I end up using the most, and it is Amboss.space. Amboss is a very, very similar utility and just takes it a step further with much more sophisticated statistics and all different kinds of graphs and charts that are going to give you more information about the nodes that you are considering creating channels with. As I said before, it is such an important thing to create channels, but who you connect with and to what extent really, really matters. What I love about Amboss is it allows me to investigate the people I'm looking to connect with before I connect with them and see what are the different channels that they have open, how long have those channels been open, what are the routing fees that they're offering, and so much more. To give you all an example, let's pull up Wallet of Satoshi, which is one of the biggest, most centralized hubs, and we can see here that they have many different wallets or nodes that I would want to consider connecting with. I can check out which might be the best one to connect with. I can see all of the different channels that they have opened, as well as the timeline of changes to those channel capacities, to the routing, and much, much more. Here we can see that they have 811 channels, up 10%. They've updated as much as an hour ago. Their total capacity, wow, is 5 billion Satoshis. And their biggest channel is the largest possible channel, which is 5 BTC. Smallest channel is here, average channel, median channel, youngest channel, and so much more. What I like about Amboss is that they offer you a more graphical user interface once again and show you the information that is relevant to you without you having to dig around like you might on 1ML. They give you beautiful visualizations showing you the distribution of this node's channels and even making it very, very simple for you to see exactly what those fees are so that you understand if this channel is actually going to route to you or they're going to set very, very high fees that make it pretty much impossible to actually get any routing going. Wow, this is a crazy, crazy high fee. I have never seen a fee that high. Wow. Wow. All right, and our next block explorer, or Lightning Explorer, if you will, is the one that I actually use the most, and that's probably because I am obsessed with my ranking, and that is Terminal Web. Terminal Web is created by Lightning Labs, and it allows you to see the top performing nodes and their rankings as well as their statistics. What's really, really cool about Terminal Web is it gives you objective criteria by which it ranks the nodes and gives you an absolute ranking, unlike 1ML or Amboss. It takes into consideration how many good peers you have, the centrality of your node, your capacity, and the age. Though it's important to note that it only counts good peers if you have more than 2 million Satoshis in each direction for routing. So don't go around opening 500,000 Satoshi channels to poor nodes or very, very good nodes for that matter, because they won't count. Now, another thing that I loved before my node was rated as good is that if you are not rated as a good node, it will actually give you suggestions as to how you can become a good node. What I love about Terminal Web is it will tell you suggested peers that will help you get to the next level. And this is one of the ways that I was able to get my node into the top 100 nodes on Terminal Web within 6 short weeks. So if you are considering building up your node to become a player in the routing space, make sure that you check these suggested peers and connect to some of them. All right, so we have talked about the apps and we've talked about the websites. Now let's talk about inbound liquidity. As you probably already know, in order to route payments on the Lightning Network, you need not only to have outbound channels with outbound liquidity, but you also need to have inbound liquidity, meaning some of your channels need to have the funds pushed to the other side of the channel. Now, there are a lot of different ways you can do this, ranging from actually just spending some money in your channels at different stores online that accept Lightning Network all the way to buying paid channels. But far and away, the absolute best way that I have discovered is by using Lightning swaps. The idea behind this is simple. I open up a channel to you, you open up a channel to Carol, and Carol then opens up a channel back to me. The benefit is that I open one channel but get twice the amount of routing capacity and get equal inbound and outbound capacity. Now, prior to some of the developments in the Lightning Network, this was predominantly coordinated on very, very messy Reddit conversations and Telegram groups with polls and back and forth messages, and it would take as much as 2 weeks to coordinate actually getting the channels opened. And that's why I love LightningNetwork.plus. It's a new website that only came out in the last few weeks, but already it has seen 1,653 channels with 42 plus BTC opened on the Lightning Network. The idea behind this website is really simple. You can join a swap or create a swap. You can specify the criteria you want, such as how much capacity and what different criteria the participants need to meet. You can, for example, specify that you only want people who have a good rating, only want people who have more than 50 million Satoshis in capacity, and on and on and on. Then the website just does the rest. It helps you find other trustworthy peers who agree to open channels to one another. It then very clearly in the interface tells you who needs to open channels to whom and sends you all kinds of updates as the people communicate right on the website. In my experience, on this website, you can get an entire ring set up and closed with all the channels completed in a matter of hours with minimal messaging back and forth. And that is absolutely incredible. I also love that they've recently added the criteria so that if you really only want to mix with individuals who are really serious and are looking to build their capacity, you can limit your swaps to only those participating. And in case you're wondering or worried how good the quality of the participants on this website are, well, I can tell you, one, I'm on here and I might join your swap with my top 100 node, but also folks like Sideways Ram, who are rising stars in the Lightning Network community, are on here and are joining swaps every single day. So definitely check out this website. It is free, and if you love it as much as I do, make sure to donate to help fund its development. So that's one way and probably the best way to get inbound liquidity. But as I mentioned, there are other ways to get that inbound liquidity. And one of my favorite ones is just supporting the Lightning community and actually spending money on Lightning Network. If I have a channel and all the funds are on my side, all I need to do is spend some funds and send them to the other direction. And now I have created inbound liquidity in that channel. Now, you might not know that there are thousands and thousands of stores that not only accept Bitcoin, but now accept Lightning Network, although it is more difficult to accept Lightning, let's be honest. So I recently was so excited when I discovered LightningNetworkStores.com. Here you can sort by all different kinds of criteria and see literally thousands of different stores which allow you to spend Lightning. Just make sure that you buy back your Bitcoin if you're going to spend it at the same day so that you are not actually depleting your Bitcoin bag. There are amazing vendors on here, from Crypto Cloaks, who make really, really cool custom BTC cases, to Y'alls, which allows paid blogging services, to all different kinds of Bitcoin-related goods and just general services that you may want in your daily life. You can also find my other business, Superhuman Academy, right on here in case you want to check out some educational courses. I highly recommend that we all try to support businesses that are selling on Lightning Network, because that is the only way to push adoption. I know we don't want to spend our precious sats, but you can always buy them back with fiat. All right, but I know what you're thinking. Jonathan, I want a lot of inbound liquidity so that people can send me all kinds of payments, and I don't really want to spend my Satoshis or mess around with swaps. I'm looking to go big. I want inbound routing. So there are plenty of different services out there that will just give you inbound liquidity if you ask nicely or if you follow the right steps. The first one that I discovered was LN to me, and what they will do is allow you to create a fully balanced channel. All you have to do is set up a channel to them, push them the funds, and they will actually send you back the funds on chain. So this is a really cool opportunity, and they do definitely have great connections and routing capacity. They are trustworthy, and they do send the funds back. This is a no-brainer. Open up a channel, they will send you the funds back, and you will have a balanced channel. If you haven't heard of LNBig, they are a mysterious BTC whale with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Bitcoin locked up in the Lightning Network. And what they do is effectively sell outbound channels. You can, of course, open a channel to one of their nodes if you would like and give them some liquidity, but more likely what you are going to do if you visit this website, lnbig.com, is actually buy inbound liquidity. Now, you can buy as much as a 16.7 million Satoshi channel, which is definitely what we would call Wumbo, for as little as $3.68 or 11,400 Satoshis. This is a no-brainer if you want to get a ton of liquidity. Some people worry a little bit about LNBig being highly centralized, but in my experience, their channels and their nodes are incredibly well connected and do a wonderful job routing. I definitely purchased some LNBig channels, and I recommend that if you're looking for big inbound liquidity, you do the same. Now, another option for buying inbound liquidity, if you're not into the whole mysterious, anonymous LNBig vibe, I don't blame you, is Bitrefill. They're a lot more expensive by a factor of 3 to 5, but they will also sell you an inbound channel for as much as 15.5 million Satoshis, though I find their pricing to be really, really ridiculous for an inbound channel. You can visit Bitrefill Thor, and you might find that this also does some nice routing for you if you decide to spring the incredibly, incredibly expensive price to purchase one of them. And our final list item for the inbound liquidity purchase is a nifty little project called Sats for Likes. Now, this is a place where you can actually post tasks such as like my tweet, follow me on Twitter, and pay in Satoshis. You can see here I have a nice little balance of 150 Satoshis from all the tasks I've been doing. The reason I bring this up is because you actually can post on here and offer someone a few thousand Satoshis to open a large channel to you. The only caveat here, and the reason that it is the last item on my list of buying inbound liquidity, is because you kind of never know who's going to open that channel, and it may just be some low-level pleb with no other channels, and therefore that inbound channel is not going to do a whole lot of routing and not be super useful to you. Yes, and one last one before we leave the topic of creating inbound liquidity. And that is the node lovingly named Bcash is Trash. Now, Bcash is Trash is one of the major hubs at the time of this recording. You can see that their growth is number 9, their capacity 35, and their channel quantity number 17. And as they will point out in their description, if you connect to them as a peer without opening a channel, they will automatically open one to you when blockchain fees are low. I've been told that they will open up a small 1 million channel to you, but nonetheless, as you push funds to their side, they dynamically update the fees, making them a really great routing partner. And frankly, who doesn't want free 1 million Satoshi channel being opened to them? All right, we have talked apps, we've talked websites, we've talked inbound liquidity, and now it is time to get into Telegram. Unless you've been living under a rock, you probably understand that so much of what happens in the crypto community happens on the messaging app Telegram, and for good reason. There are all kinds of incredible features on Telegram, such as broadcast channels, groups, and bots. And that is the topic of this section. On Telegram, you will find a ton of incredible bots for running and maintaining your Lightning node, and perhaps none of them is as valuable as Lightning.watch. You can visit Lightning.watch.com to set up your very own watch in Telegram. Just make sure that you use my referral code in the description to get 7 days of premium watch for free. Now, the idea behind Lightning.watch is very simple. You tell it exactly what is happening in your node and what your node is, and it will go ahead and let you know when your channel is being watched, when your channel is dead, and when you are running into difficulties or you go back online. The bot is super simple to use, and you can open any channel of any size to them and they will go ahead and monitor for you completely for free. In addition, you have the option of paying for premium notifications, which means that there is no 1 hour delay in your notification. Or you can do what I do and just refer a ton of people using your referral code, hint, hint, and get 7 free days of premium. So once again, if you're going to use this, make sure to use my referral code. All right, the next on my list of favorite bots is the Lightning Network tip bot. If you are a Reddit user, as I am, you probably read from time to time some really great or informative posts, and you think, gee, I'd like to give this person a little more than an upvote. Well, now you can because of the lntip bot. How it works? Very simple. You fund a custodial wallet within the tip bot, and then all you need to do is comment lntip and the number of Satoshis to whoever it is you want to reply to. Now, it's important to note that this is a custodial wallet and you do have to interact with it on Twitter, but you can actually withdraw your funds at any time back into your very own Lightning node, which I think is really cool, and it definitely brings down the barrier of being able to tip people right on Reddit. Back on the topic of Telegram bots, let's talk about a big one, and that is LNTX bot. This is effectively an in-Telegram Lightning wallet that you can use to tip people in groups, or if you're like me, just earn free ad revenue by watching or receiving ads. What I did realize recently is that although this is a custodial wallet, you can actually tell it that you want to export to Blue Wallet, and you will be able to interact and use the wallet right within your Blue Wallet. So while it's not directly working off of your node and therefore is not exactly a node tool, I find that this is a really cool way to get people to use Lightning Network, and also it's really nice to get tips for commenting on Telegram groups. In order to get started, all you need to do is send a message to LNTXBot, and you can take it away from there, earning Satoshis, sending Satoshis, and donating Satoshis in any group that LNTXBot is present in. My next favorite bot for Telegram is Cheese Robot, and this one's a really cool one. It allows you to get updates about your node and its rankings, allows you to query the bot for different things such as mempool fees or graphs, and of course, in any group that you interact in, will allow you to insert your node ID without having to look it up. Also, Cheese Robot can build these beautiful, incredible graphs, graphing out any group you're in case you want to create connections with other people and see who is connected to whom. To get started with Cheese Robot, all you have to do is send /start to Cheese Robot on Telegram. All right, now that we talked about Telegram a little bit and talked about the incredible Telegram bots that exist, let's talk about Telegram groups. Now, as I mentioned before, prior to LightningNetwork.plus, all of the coordination and activity for creating Lightning Network liquidity swaps was happening in these groups with polls and all different kinds of utilities. However, these groups are still incredibly relevant, even though so much of what is happening in them is now happening on Lightning Network Plus. And that's because these groups have become incredible communities for sharing thoughts and ideas, getting troubleshooting help, and just meeting other people who are passionate about Lightning Network. I personally really like the Rings of Fire group because that's where I came up and started my first liquidity swaps, but you might also want to check out PLEBNet, which is a much larger group and shares all kinds of really funny memes and activities and all kinds of cool tools that are worth you knowing about. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse for Lightning Network and Bitcoin as a whole, I recommend checking out and joining these two Telegram groups. One other group, and this is probably more appropriate for those of you who are running Umbrel nodes, is the Umbrel Community. At 4,500 members at the time of this recording, this is one of the bigger Lightning Network related groups, and I find a really, really great place to get help and all kinds of support for anything that might be plaguing your node. I also want to point out that if you are in this group, you're very likely to get an answer or help from me personally, as I love going in here and helping people troubleshoot their nodes. So that is my list of beginner utilities, but I would be remiss if I didn't give you a peek into what is next for you as you grow and expand your knowledge of the Lightning Network. See, every single one of the tools that I've shared with you today are graphical user interfaces, chats, groups, and apps that pretty much anyone can use. But if you want to get more advanced with Lightning Network, you are going to have to get familiar with the dreaded command line. Now, don't be scared by this because your computer already comes with one. All you need to do is learn some basic commands and you'll be able to go into your node, play around with settings, do things like alter your alias, colors, settings, minimum channel sizes, routing fee defaults, and much, much more. Now, I know it can be super scary, but there are so many resources online to help you understand exactly what commands you need to put into this thing to interact with your node. And once you do, you'll be able to unlock all kinds of incredible additional services that I haven't even begun to play around with. Services such as Balance of Satoshis, which is created by Lightning Labs founder Alex Bosworth and allows you to automatically manage your nodes, get Telegram notifications of all different kinds of things that are happening on your node, new channels, routing, transactions, and do complicated balances and forwards and change channel rules and all kinds of other stuff that, frankly, I really hope I have time to play with. In addition, one other tool I'm really excited about trying out is Charge-lnd. It allows you to automatically set fees based on a set of policies such as proportional, mimicking, or on and on and on. What's cool about this is it allows you to maximize your routing revenue by changing fees every single time your channel balance changes, and therefore squeezing out every last Satoshi that you can without having to pay for rebalancing because your channels get lopsided. This is definitely a lot more advanced, especially if you're an Umbrel user. You're going to have to learn how to set up a Docker so you don't mess with all the existing Docker installations on your node. And let me tell you, it is really, really easy to mess up those Docker installations. But if you are technical or have an aptitude to learn some of this stuff, you will be able to do so much more with tools like this, as well as Ring of Fire, which is a tool that will allow you to circular rebalance your brand new swaps. So those are all of my favorite Lightning Network tools, apps, resources, and communities for beginners. But I'd love to know, did I miss any? Let me know in the comments below what your favorite tools are for managing your Lightning node, and let me know if there are any other videos you'd like to see. Make sure to hit that subscribe button because I am coming out with new content all the time, and I cannot wait to educate all of you on everything that I'm learning about Bitcoin, Lightning Network, multi-sig, Trezor, Shamir backups, and so much more. Thanks for watching and happy routing.